So I'm here with Daniel O'Toole. Dot, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very, very well. Fantastic to be interviewing you.
Good.
And I just want to start the interview by talking about sabbatical officers. In your manifesto, you were saying about improving the communication between the sabbatical officers and the students. How's this going?
I'd say that it's a work in progress. It's arguable that the communication has actually improved at all since last year. As of yet, however, we do have a director of communications role within the Students' Union that we are looking to have for January, February time. What they will bring to the Students' Union then is, their first job will be to further research some things that we already know, but to further research on different ways, new ways of communicating with students. What is the best way to contact a fresher about an event, or what's the best way to contact a second year about a news update or whatever it is. Because there's so many ways of communicating messages to students and so many messages to communicate to students. We just want to tick the right boxes, and that'll be one of their key roles.
Very interesting. And about the Student Centre, are the screens working currently?
I think the screens are nearly up to scratch. There are probably some, obviously, with over 40 of them in the new centre, that's obviously a fantastic way to get messages out to students.
Absolutely.
And it is something that's being worked on at the moment to actually manage the content that goes out on those screens. Just on the Student Centre, I've had lots of questions recently about ATM machines. And there are a few snagging issues with the Student Centre. There's another question about the area around the pool tables in the plug bar, for example, and why is it on a slant when I can't put my drink on the top? Well, I can reassure you all that is actually in the process. There's so many snags on this list, however, that it's taking its time. The toilets are going to be revamped over the Christmas period, and the ATM machine is coming in on the 1st of December.
Okay, so but is that currently out of action?
It's currently out of action. It's not being commissioned due to some cabling problems with BT.
Okay. And about the Student Centre again, Theory. Theory arguably had a difficult start to the year,
Yes.
But now we hear it's the cheapest night in Bath.
Yes, I mean, it's what we've really tried to do over the last few weeks is really find out what students really want from their Friday night, and Theory is obviously the Friday night on campus. The difficulties with having the biggest venue in Bath is that obviously you need to fill it to make it look like it's a good night. Places like the Weir Lounge, for example, where students go on a Thursday for Kitsch, will come back and they say they had an amazing night. However, the capacity of Kitsch is only at 200. On our weakest night of this year so far, we've had 350 through the door. So that would mean that there was 150 people queuing outside Weir Lounge at that point. And they obviously, the perception then that they're left with is that, wow, that must have been an amazing night. What we're really looking to do is get as much feedback from students to get the best possible night, so that we get the people through the door. Once the people come through the door, it's a good night, it'll work on itself then. But yes, we are now the cheapest night on a Friday, beating any other promotions. And I mean, it's about brands as well. The only promotion that we were beat on before was Jaeger bombs.
The favourites.
The favourites. On a Friday night in XL, and that was £3 for £5. Now we're not going to promote that you can get 3 for £5, but what we've done is reduce the price of a Jaeger bomb to £1.65. So actually it beats the promotion. And actually it's real Jägermeister, and actually it's real, Smirnoff vodka. That we have the best brands at the cheapest prices and in the biggest venue. So with decent acts as well. I mean, last week we saw the MC Carousel come back with DJ Sean Diamond from Freshers Week, and people had an amazing time then. And we're currently planning the last Friday, and we're looking at Ellie Goulding or one of Radio 1 DJs. So we're looking for a big night at the end to finish it off.
Well, you sound like you're very confident in the future of Theory, so I wish you all the best.
Well, one of the things I will pitch there is that actually we're confident in making it happen to the best of our ability. However, there is a scene out there. Town has really improved, and is it the right night? Is it the right package? I mean, we have a quiz or comedy on a Tuesday, score on a Wednesday. Thursday night will be open mic night, Friday and Saturday club nights. Is that the right sort of mix? Now, this sort of feedback I really want on the 10th of December, Friday the 10th of December at 12:15 in Elements. We're going to have some free pizzas and things, but we want a big student forum there where people can come, ask some questions and say, no, you're not doing this right. No, actually, we don't want a club night on a Friday and we don't want a club night on a Saturday or whatever it is. But we really want to get that feedback then.
About the higher education funding cuts, there has been a lot of demonstrations over the past few weeks, and in fact on Wednesday there are demonstrations outside the Liberal Democrats HQ. Bath University have decided not to partake in any of these arrangements. Is there any particular reason why that's the case?
There is a reason that we've not actually done anything. There are plans, and I actually have a meeting later tonight with the president of Bath Spa University Students' Union. We will work with them again and the City of Bath College to do something collaboratively in the city against the cuts to HE, but more in particular for this, on a local scale, to really hold Don Foster, the local Liberal Democrat MP, to account. We really need to hold him to account. He was the guy who at the start of the general election, I interviewed, being president last year as well, and he said, of course I've signed this pledge to vote against the rise in tuition fees.
Yeah. And so if I was Don Foster right now,
yes,
what would you say to me about this higher education?
Why on earth are you going back on the pledge that you put forward to students before the general election, that pledge that students voted for you on? He was the one who wrote the Liberal Democrat policy opposing tuition fees in the first place, and he is one of the listed 4 Liberal Democrats that NUS, the National Union of Students, have really kind of picked up as these guys really need to be challenged.
Absolutely. And we're trying to get Foster in ourselves to try and hold him to account and ask him why this has happened.
Yes, he is coming up on the 3rd of December, Friday the 3rd of December. The Liberal Democrat Society have organised that he's coming up to answer any questions at 6 p.m. on Friday the 3rd. There'll be some promotion about that people will see. But to come back to your original question, on Wednesday, I'm trying to do this backwards. This is probably going out on the Thursday, but I'm going to guess what happens today. But because of the student protests around the country and in particular the Liberal Democrat HQ, we didn't want to be really associated with mixed messages. We really want, we really respect the town and gown relationship that we have here in Bath, and we don't want to jeopardise that with some mixed message that we do, even though it's a peaceful protest in Bath. If it's not a peaceful protest elsewhere, we didn't want that to be picked up in the press.
Absolutely. So the relationship between the university and the town is very important.
It's very important indeed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so if we do have a collaborative effort between Bath Spa and Bath University, when do you envisage this protest taking place, or this demonstration?
That's something I don't have enough information to say anything on yet. However, there will be information going out, and as I said, I have a meeting later this evening with the president of Bath Spa to actually further organise this.
Fantastic. Well, Daniel O'Toole, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.